Ask your questions now. We want you to be a part of this show, so we wanted to remind our dear viewers to feel free to converse with one another and ask questions in the live stream chat on YouTube. More importantly, if you have a question or comment that you would like our host or guest to answer live, please remember to send us a super chat by clicking on the small dollar icon next to your chat box of any amount, and we will read and answer your comment or question live on this program or on a later program. You can also send us a super thanks located underneath this video by side-scrolling the row where the thumbs up, share buttons, and other button options are located. Just keep scrolling until you see the thanks icon. And that's it. It's that simple. So be sure and get your super chat comment or question in during this program. We would love to hear from you and answer your questions live. Thanks so much for your generosity. Introducing God's Learning Channel's brand new Amazon bookstore, your gateway to a world of wisdom and faith. Our Amazon bookstore offers a remarkable collection of dozens of hand-picked items, carefully curated to enrich your spiritual journey. From a wide selection of traditional Christian and Jewish Bibles to Judaica treasures, biblical holiday merchandise, and even beautiful jewelry. Our Amazon bookstore has it all. Conveniently shop from the comfort of your own home at any time. Just visit our website or stop by our online bookstore, or better yet, simply find us on Amazon to embark on a transformative shopping experience. New items are added regularly, so remember to always check back. Shop now and embrace the blessings that await you.
Hi friends, we at GLC would like to take a quick moment to thank you for watching our programs on this platform, and we'd like to ask you for a little favor. Would you please go beneath this video and click the subscribe button? Did you know that by simply subscribing to the GLC YouTube channel, you can help us financially support the programs on this platform? You'll need to be signed into YouTube beforehand. But if not, simply click the subscribe button and YouTube will automatically walk you through the steps to sign in or to create an account. By taking these simple steps, you will not only ensure that you continue to receive our unique programming and gain instant access to the hundreds of videos we post, but more importantly, you'll also be telling YouTube that GLC's content is worth watching and promoting. Likewise, if you enjoyed a specific program, please click the thumbs up button below, which also helps inform YouTube that this is a program worth recommending. Finally, once you have logged in and subscribed, please click the notification bell below in order to receive announcements when we post new content. As usual, feel free to post your questions and comments in the comments section below. We always love hearing from our friends and viewers. Again, thank you for watching and supporting God's Learning Channel. We couldn't spread the message of the gospel without you. Be blessed, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Shalom, everyone. Another update on Israel, and with one that is very well acquainted with GLC, Gilla Treibich. Gilla's led many tours for the station, and I called Gilla and said, what can we do to help? And so Gilla, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I wish the circumstances were different, but it's good to be back on GLC and meet the wonderful audiences of GLC. I miss you guys. I haven't been in touch with people for a long time. So this is really wonderful. Thank you, Joe, for giving me the opportunity, and Corey for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
What have you got that we can help? What can we do? Tell us a need.
Well, it's a whole story. See, I think you're aware that Israel was having a lot of protests, and it really tore up. And the last we know is people went to court to allow other people to have hakafot, to dance with the Torah outdoors in Tel Aviv. That was the biggest concern, right? And lo and behold, Saturday morning, we got a wake-up call that brought us to the real world, to the real neighborhood where we are. Of course, once it started, and once the army and once everybody got out of their shock, and they were in complete shock and dumbfounded in the beginning on Saturday morning. I'm sure you've seen a lot of their atrocities on television. But once the army started regrouping, the first thing they did is mobilize reserves. And lo and behold, they had a response that was so overwhelming that, I mean, they had 120% show up, which is absolutely not what they expected.
Wait. How can you get 120%? 100% means they all come. How do you get 120%?
Because they always count on no show. They call 120%, hoping that 90 to 100 will show up.
Yes.
And this time they all showed up.
Yes.
So the reserves, it's usually a problem with equipment and usually a problem with really supplying them. And especially when you didn't expect so many people. I think they called up like 30,000 reserves, which is huge for Israel. Is it 300,000?
300,000.
300,000. That's it. 30,000. Not so many, which is huge for Israel. And before very long, we started getting calls. We need equipment. And now, I used to do the David Fund for years, but we stopped about 12, 13 years ago. And now the call came from my kids, specifically my daughter, who was telling me, Mom, people need equipment. My friends, everybody needs equipment. Who do I call? Where do I go? Where do I find? So I went back to the old files and started calling people. And sure enough, we came for the first day package. And then Joe called me and we started talking. He said, what can we do? We have to try and get help the reservists. That's the most urgent call right now, because the regular army is very well equipped. They're doing well. The reserves sometimes need like real basics. Some of them are begging for bulletproof vests or for special helmets, and these things are quite expensive. So that's what I thought that we should try and get. I hope that that's something that's meaningful to you, but these are life-saving items.
Well, I had mentioned we had done a video like this, and I mentioned that initially the David Fund was set up because David was sent to provide supplies for his brothers who were on the front lines.
Right.
And I wanted people to understand why there was a David Fund to begin with. And so, Joe and I have agreed it's time for the David Fund to be reactivated. Mm. Now, I was thinking this morning that we're a lot older. You're a little bit older. A lot of us are older, and it's been a long time since we've done this. But, I'm seeing pictures of 85-year-old men going back into the reserves. I don't know what they can do, but the thing is, the older generation has heard the call. The older generation knows what needs to be done to preserve humanity in that region. And so I don't care how old we get, it's our time to reinstate, to get back in the saddle and put the David Fund back to work so that we can try to outfit these soldiers. Now, in the past, a lot of what we had done with the David Fund was to provide comfort, entertainment, to make life a little bit easier for the soldier. But this time, I think we're going to be doing something that is much more vital to their survival, for their survival and for the protection of all the people that they serve. And so I think that this is just a wonderful thing. It's very close to our hearts.
One thing that is becoming more and more apparent to everyone is the war is enlarging. Right now, the prime enemy is Hamas, but Hezbollah did a huge military barrage this morning, and or our morning, your afternoon. They are getting involved, and it's liable to expand with other nations getting involved. Israel's going to need every soldier, and they've got to have the equipment. And if it doesn't come from us, who's it going to come from? We've got to do it. We've got to do it.
Well, I see up on the screen they've got information on how people can send a check, for example, to the David Fund, and that would come, basically to a post office box that we check regularly. The thing is, a lot of people don't send checks anymore. Very few people are writing checks. And so I'm sure that people will want to know how they can do something electronically. We do have a site, the Jerusalem Temple Study site, and it has a place to give.
PayPal.
Yes.
It has PayPal? Yeah.
PayPal. I want to make sure, though, that people know that they can specifically designate this money for the David Fund or for Israel or for soldiers, however they want to word it. But and I'm going to try to work with a guy that works with us on the website to make sure that there's maybe a separate button for that so that it doesn't get entangled in anything we're doing. But
100% of this will go directly to these.
Yes.
These supplies for the soldiers.
If it's designated or if they click on a specific place, we want 100% to go specifically for these needs for the soldiers.
So, Gilla,
is there also, one more technical question. Is there also a way of doing bank transfers?
The money that comes in, we will do a bank transfer overnight.
No. I mean to you, to the better to do it by PayPal.
Yeah, and people sometimes say, "Hey, there's an expense. You don't get all the money." We'll take care of that. Okay, if you send it, we'll make sure that the full amount that was sent gets to Israel and to this thing. Okay.
Yeah, and I found a very good way of handling that also, because that's also not simple. You get the donations, you get even you buy the equipment, but we have excuse me, we have I found a really beautiful organization, a guy who's normally a consultant for investments, took his office, emptied everything else, and made it into a logistical center where he collects donations and he collects equipment, and then they're online and people contact them, and then we look for people to contact. Now, I made sure to ask them, is there any overhead? They said absolutely none. Everybody is a volunteer. Nobody takes any money. It all goes to the soldiers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's really beautiful.
Well, and we're seeing this across the board. We see this with everyone we talk with, that everybody is on a volunteer basis right now because they're all feeling the need. They all want to help. And see, Americans want to help too. We are praying. We're thinking of you constantly, and we're praying, but we want to do more than pray. We want to show an active support. And so a lot of people are, every Israeli we've talked to has mentioned that everything is done on a volunteer basis, that there's no staff that's being paid, there's no overhead, there's no extra expense. It's all done so that 100% of all funds collected can go to that specific need.
Yeah, and it's really impressive because, like my daughter, where did people contact her? On the mothers group. They're all mothers to young children. But yet their husbands are recruited, so they have to deal with that. They have, everybody's pitching in, everybody's helping, and everybody's trying to do something, and that's really uplifting. Yeah.
That's a good suggestion, by the way. A lot of these people in this audience homeschool, and they have homeschooling networks. Put it out on the network, and you go to share it. Go to the Facebook page for God's Learning Channel, and that'll take you to YouTube and Amazon Fire Stick and Roku. There's many avenues that you can go to, but let's expand this. The this is the most impressive thing that we have ever been involved in, is standing with Israel and really being able to help that soldier out there to have the equipment that will protect him and let him do his job to protect the people of Israel.
You know, I had talked to Joe about how the atmosphere in Israel seems to have changed, you know, slightly in the past few days. It went from just horror to just terrible sadness and just a very, very sobering thought. You know, everything's just very, very sad. But I saw today how tanks and military jeeps, vehicles were going through the streets, and people were lining the streets to cheer them on, to give them blessings, to give them foods. Everybody is in support of these soldiers. Now, what's tragic about this is that when the soldiers leave, and there are many, I'm so glad there's so many, but it's leaving a lot of people home alone. Yeah. And so, you know, it's a very difficult situation, but to see the change, you know, the arc of change among the people. Now, there's still a lot of anger, and quite honestly, there should be anger over this. You know, there should be righteous anger over what has happened. And, you know, I mentioned the other day that it's tragic that Israel was caught so unaware, but this is not going to happen again. You know, Israel's not going to let this happen if they can in any way prevent this. You know, it's what is just horrible what has happened. But to see how now the whole attitude of the country is to stand behind their soldiers, to go out and get, you know, to support, protect their people, but also to take the enemy down. You know, it's time for that enemy to go down.
Yes, go get them. Absolutely.
That's right. Absolutely.
And this time,
it's outrage. It's like I don't know. I mean, it's beyond rage. It's just unimaginable. You know, I was talking to a pastor today. I mean, this is the embodiment of pure and crystallized evil.
Yes, it is.
Where do people come up with something like that? It's just totally unimaginable, totally beyond any imagination.
But, you know, we hear stories about how Hamas was sent in to train for this. I thought, how do you train somebody to be so animalistic, so barbaric? You know, the things they've done with women and children. How do you train them to do this? And, you know, basically it comes back to that this was a very well thought out, very well planned, well orchestrated event, you know, to try to strike such a heartfelt blow to the Israeli nation, to its people, and, you know, to strike from behind and to come in and take the innocent, the elderly people, the small children, the wives, the people in their homes. You know, this was well orchestrated. And, you know, we can't think that this was just some mad people that are trying to do this in retaliation for something. No, this was a dramatic, orchestrated event to declare war. It's
beyond imagination. It's like... you can't think about it, and every day you discover more and more horrors. That's the terrible thing. They're still searching for bodies.
Yes.
There's an organization, Zaka, that does that. They search for bodies and they try to find DNA to actually identify them, because some of them are mutilated beyond recognition. So.
Well, Gilla, I had written on my Facebook page recently that, you know, we're all seeing the horrors. But if you turn on the news, you're seeing this. I don't want to see any more of that.
No.
If I'm not doing something to help to prevent it or to help alleviate the pain. And I feel like this is something we can do. And, you know, I feel like we need to be informed of what's been going on, but let's don't just dwell on that. Let's dwell on what we can do. What positive action can we take?
Let it not paralyze you. Let it not paralyze you. So, right. You're very right, Debbie. Yeah.
You know, the David Fund, a lot of people, I'm sure, because it's been inactive for so long. And the reason it went inactive, it was not that we no longer wanted to support the soldiers. It was that the rules have been passed that would not allow donations of this type to be done to individual units and so forth. But the David Fund, over the course of years, I think it was somewhere around $500,000 that were raised, and Erica, we started off very small, and it expanded wider and wider and wider. And we air conditioned dining halls. We built basketball courts. We built the memorial rooms for the soldiers that had fallen, and all types of projects.
And also like war rooms yes. And study rooms that yes. were some of the officers we know are already retired generals. So
yes, yeah,
it's been a while. Yeah.
But we can do it again. It's time that this comes back, and it's for such a time as this that it took you one day to figure out, hey, we can reactivate the David Fund. It's been sitting there dormant all this time.
We've never closed the account.
We never closed it. We still have the account, and it's for this time. And so if you were a past supporter of the David Fund, I'm going to implore you to become a current supporter. They need it right now. And I think that it'll make a difference, and every soldier is going to be needed. And this is our way to pick up a gun and say, we're with you. Our gun's just going to be in the form of a donation.
And time here is of an essence, because the Air Force will still work for a few days to try and destroy as many Hamas targets and as many Hamas headquarters as are in Gaza. But at some point soon, the soldiers, the infantry, and the artillery, and the armored forces are going to go into Gaza, and there's probably a lot of danger there, a lot of booby trap places, a lot of tunnels where terrorists hide, and that's when they'll need their equipment. So time is really of an essence. We're thankful for technology, because if actually you use PayPal, the donation can get to Joe immediately. And the minute he has a few donations, he can wire it to me. Not to me, but he can wire it to the group that buys the equipment. So it can be done literally in a day. I don't know. I'm not trying to rush anybody or anything like that, but be aware that time is of an essence here. It's really important. It's an important factor.
I will daily check. I will daily go to the bank. I'll daily get the money over there.
No. He will hourly check.
Yes, I will.
I'll make sure that he will do that. He will check it not just by the day, but he will check it regularly every hour. So you mentioned time is of the essence. They're not going to war in 3 days. You're at war right now. And you need it right now. You needed it yesterday, to be honest. And so we need to get this in the hands of the people as quickly as possible so that they can be well outfitted and so they can be protected.
By the way, the carrier task force from the United States is supposed to arrive on station today. It might be there already, but
probably tonight. The Gerald Ford Air Force carrier, I think the largest one in the world. But they just told us today that they're sending a second one.
Well, the Pentagon right now is in a meeting to make a final decision on that. But yes, we're praying that a second task force will.
The Dwight Eisenhower one should be coming here also.
Very good. Very good.
This is to deter the Hamas, This is to tell the Hamas, don't get any stupid ideas in your, not Hamas, I'm sorry, the Hezbollah in the north.
Right.
Because the Hamas is like, Hamas shouldn't exist after this. It should just be something of the past, like ISIS is something of the past. It's exactly the same kind of evil.
It is.
But Hezbollah is still playing a little bit and shooting some rockets and shooting some not much. But I think that the Air Force carriers are coming here to get them, to make sure that they don't get any ideas in their head.
Everything that can be put into this effort on the side of Israel needs to be done now. And it's no turning back. Hamas has to be destroyed.
Right.
Absolutely taken out. And
has to be a thing of the past.
Yes. Yes. And well, Gilla, will you be at some point where you can come back and give us some reports on, what is,
outcome, how the donations of people might have helped.
Sure. I'll not only do reports, we'll take pictures of everything. We'll ask soldiers not showing their faces. We'll ask them to take pictures and show us exactly what, absolutely. We'll keep you updated all the time. Believe me, I'm not busy. There's no tourists now. So I have plenty of time on my hands.
Well, let's make a difference so that can change.
Yes.
Let's let that change. One of the reasons why we when we had the David Fund, what we tell people is that people could go to Israel in safety because of the job the Israeli army was doing. Because the way they protected the land, it enabled us. We actually derived benefit of being able to go over there in safety. And now that you're in danger, I can't think of a better way for somebody to make a donation, to have it go, and let's make Israel safe again. Let's all do our part in digging deep and sending donations so that Israel can be protected. And Gilla, hopefully this will put you back to work again.
This is just wonderful, wonderful work. I couldn't hope for anything better to do. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you in advance, everybody. And thank you for the support. I mean, I get it through Joe, I get it through Corey, I get it through everybody. The support has just been unbelievable. Yeah. Which is really important.
I'd like to thank personally Tommy Cooper. And she's had such an effect and an impact, not only on the corner of the world that God's Learning Channel is located, but everywhere. And this platform to be able to come and, it says, God blesses those who bless Israel, and God curses those that turn their back, that curse Israel. And so this is our opportunity to come and to stand with you, and to be strong with you, and to pray for you. And I just pray that this is over quickly, but it's over where the mission is accomplished and Hamas is no more.
Let it be swift, let it be just.
Yes.
Right.
And may God do miracles concerning those that are held captive by Hamas in Gaza, and may they be brought out in safety. And we just pray for them.
Amen. Yeah, thank you for mentioning Tommy Cooper. Tommy, I don't know if you're watching or if you'll see this. Really sending you love, and you are such a spirit over this whole thing. It's really fantastic. We're very grateful. Thank you.
Jackie Gaylor called yesterday. Yeah, Jackie Gaylor.
Yeah, right. Jackie, please. All these people, I mean, these are all people that have been with us for so many years and helped, and just a sweet, wonderful, supporting, strong spirit. It's incredible. Yeah. So glad to be here again. So.
Okay. Just one last thing, and then we'll need to go ahead and go. But if you want to do by PayPal, you can go to put David Fund on the little memo thing there, and that money will go directly JerusalemTempleStudy.com. Second, if you want to send a check, then you can send it to David Fund at P.O. Box 948, Crosby, Texas 77532, and we will get we'll get all the donations delivered daily over to Israel, and I think that it will make an impact. I think just the fact that you are standing with Israel, that has a tremendous impact to the soldiers. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, it does. We've seen it. Yeah. We've seen it in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, Gilla. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Shalom, and may we talk much and have good news to share.
Amen.